Hey guys, welcome to episode 30 of Unethical Podcast.
Accidents happen.
Our guest host for this episode is Paige Boyer, and today we're going to be discussing the tragic Tinder date of Gable Tostee. Welcome to Unethical Podcast. On August 8th, 2014, 26-year-old Warina Wright, a young woman from New Zealand vacationing in Australia's Gold Coast, swiped right on Tinder.
Oh.
So it started with Tinder.
It all started with Tinder.
Wow. There we go. What's her name? Lorraine?
Warina. She was born in the Philippines, and her family moved to Australia when she was 3. She was described by the people close to her as an animal lover, a gamer, and a loving sister and daughter. She liked to draw and had a fondness for Hello Kitty and Dragon Ball Z. And she had a stifling job working in a call center, but she liked to brighten up her workspace with little figurines and photographs.
Do we know what kind of figurines? Was it anime
Dragon
ones?
Ball Z. And...
Yeah. Aw, that's fun. Goku going Super Saiyan? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Sounds like it. She also was incredibly fond of the television show Supernatural.
Oh, nice.
Well, why not? Sam and Dean, come on. That's the shit.
Dean is my dude.
Yeah.
Did you mention her age, or did I completely just fucking miss that?
She's 26. And Supernatural is not that good of a show.
No.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It got after like season 7, it could have stopped.
There's 7 seasons of that fucking show.
No, there's more.
Whoa, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
It's not that good of a show.
It's the perfect show to put on and do other things.
Yes. Yeah. But so is The Office.
I'm not surprised that this group likes it, because a lot of this show is a lot of the shit that we like to talk about in our conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That's
it's not that good of a show.
No, I agree with you. It's not that good of a show, but
sex sells. Y'all forget that.
Looking at Jensen Ackles is fine. I'm happy to do that. He's hot.
The other guy's better looking.
Okay.
Sam?
Yeah, Sam's better looking. Okay, so unfortunately, we will come to learn that Warina had some major issues that were going to get her into trouble.
Oh, dear.
So Warina was on vacation, and she was looking for some quick disposable sex with a good-looking guy when suddenly, there on her screen, popped up 28-year-old Gable Tostee. So Warina had previously been in a relationship with a personal trainer, and so she definitely had a type. Gable was handsome, very fit. He seemed friendly, and from his opening line, she found out that he was most definitely DTF. He opened with, "You look delicious. I want to do dirty things with you."
Ew.
That wasn't a fucking red flag right there. You look delicious.
What?
Ugh.
How is that even a line? You look delicious. I want to do dirty things with you. It's not even a line. That's not clever.
What do you do with cake? That's what I would say back.
You look delicious. I'd lick off your icing.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I'm just saying that's not clever. What I'm doing is not clever either, but I just thought of it now.
I mean, like,
Please.
if a man goes, "You're delicious," I feel like that should be a red flag out the gate now. But I'm not assuming anything about this girl, but she seems like she was into more, not childish, but she seems like she was into more
fantasy world stuff.
Like fantasy world kind of thing. So it seems like maybe
she was a geek, but she had a thing for 10s, I guess.
Yeah.
Bold of me to say he was a 10. He was actually a very good looking dude when he was in his prime.
Yeah.
But despite his good looks, he was very, very ugly on the inside.
Aw.
Such a disappointment when that happened. So unexpected. I thought because he was so handsome, he must be a good person.
Oh, of course.
So cliche.
Oh God.
Ugh.
So he tracked every woman that he had had sex with, along with the dates that he had sex with them on his phone. And that number surpassed 180.
Ick. He had a little black book in his phone.
He
Ew.
kept track of the chicks that he slept with, like a fucking Excel sheet.
He did. He had a dick rectory.
A dick rectory.
Oh.
Celeste has a dick rectory on her phone of all the guys that have sent her dick pics.
Like, I can see women doing that, like keeping track of like who and when you slept with somebody. Like, if you're not sleeping with one person, you know, just in case, whatever happens. But that's fucking gross. So
It's more like a trophy book.
Reminds me of that guy that wrote that book, They Serve Beer in Hell. I can't remember what his name was. I'll find out.
But there's a toe in it.
But yeah, no, he wrote an entire book about how he treated women and how he kept diaries on each one he'd slept with and how many he'd slept with and who did what right and who did what wrong, and it was disgusting.
It's not uncommon.
Oh my God.
yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, I feel like it's not that uncommon.
Yeah,
you know, that mentality.
and then they share it.
Yeah.
Then they share it with each other.
I'm the guy here, and I'm going to tell you that is pretty uncommon as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I've never ever seen any of one of my friends that are men.
You're from a different generation.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, personally,
That is
I don't know
true.
anybody that has done that, but I mean, I assume like
Tucker Max was his name, the guy that wrote that book. Tucker Max.
Oh, Tucker Max. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Was he taking down more information, this guy, or was he just saying I slept with girls, or was he like put it in her butt, ate her out, she blew me for 4 minutes?
It was just names and dates.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Less creepy, but still
Jeez,
creepy.
Richard.
He did record these thoughts somewhere, just not in his phone.
I just would never expect that. Like,
I don't know. What do you, who knows? Maybe he's super creepy. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's super creepy. We have no reason to think that so far.
Oh, not at all.
It's just
Not at
fucking
all.
creepy.
So he likes to call people food or, you know, comment
It's delicious.
people as if they're a
Gross.
dinner plate.
Gross.
Meatloaf.
I want to know how you taste.
Primest rib I've ever met.
That's how Lara tells us she's hungry.
She wants fava beans and a nice Chianti.
She's a smart
Anyway,
kid.
I know what to make you for dinner when you come visit me, Celeste.
You look delicious. I want to know how you taste.
Oh.
I might lock myself in a closet now.
No, it's okay. I've seen your legs. You don't have a lot to eat there. Bring me Kent's. Bring me Kent's delicious legs. That's what I want.
Yeah, Kent's calves.
Yeah, good looking legs.
I think I'm the girl that you're looking for.
Oh my god!
Ooh.
Finally.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Wow, my stomach just growled so loud. Oh,
Oh, that's disturbing when we're talking about
yeah, I
cannibalism.
hope that.
I was like, all right, is this like a mutual
No.
think we're tasty?
No, I just think it was coincidental.
He also had a criminal record. In 2004, Gable and a friend of his made $30,000 forging fake IDs for underage students. After he was arrested, he needed to undergo psychological assessments. Gable was diagnosed with what used to be Asperger's, but is now just autism spectrum disorder, severe obsessive compulsive disorder, and his psychiatrist said that he had such severe personality problems that he was partially disabled.
Whoa.
Stick another red flag in that.
Yeah.
he didn't put that in his Tinder profile, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, he must have
What is this?
Apparently his
Disability.
Tinder profile said something about being a single mom, and
Oh.
like being one, not looking for one, like
Oh.
single mom looking for love. I don't know. He fancied himself a funny
Did
guy.
he have like multiple personality disorder?
I think he just thought he was.
Or wait, what's that
quirky.
called now? DID?
Yeah.
DID. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Single mom looking.
It's probably something that he saw on fucking, what do the kids use? Pinterest.
TikTok.
I don't know.
Oh.
Pinterest. Isn't it Facegram?
Facegram.
Instabook.
Instachat.
My Face and Facebook.
Yeah.
Snappler, I think. All right. Anyway. Yeah. So after he was arrested, he started isolating himself socially and obsessing over his physical fitness. So the majority of the human contact that he had during this period was on fitness forums. These online friends of his encouraged him to get out there and meet people. So he decided that he was going to go out with an old friend. After the night out, he got back on the forums, and he tells these people that he was intimidated by the women that approached him, and that he was nervous because he hadn't had sex since he was 17, and he was 23 at this time. So with their encouragement, he decides that he's going to give it another shot. He managed to hook up with a woman in his car the next time he went out, and he was in it for the stats. From then on, women was his new obsession. And so he would come back on these forums to brag when he hit number 50, and then again when he hit number 100, saying that number 100 was lower than his usual standards because he was so eager to reach his goal, and that his normal standards are between a 7 and an 8.5. But by April of 2013, he had creeped out so many women that he was banned by several of the local nightclubs, and instead he took to Tinder to increase his ranking.
God.
So this man, I'm assuming he wasn't well versed like socially. So
No, he had Asperger's.
Yeah, like he seemed like he'd be awkward. So I'm wondering how he got like 100 women.
Alcohol.
Like what was his prey? Like what was the type of
women on vacation who are looking for a vacation fling?
The Gold Coast is a holiday destination in Australia. So, and there's always lots of schoolies go there. Like we do, like when you finish year 12, they go. Like it's like spring break basically. And a lot of people, a lot of young women travel over there at the end of school. And yeah, nightclubs in Australia, man, all you need to do is wait a few hours. The girls get quite a lot of drink into them, and then they're I'm trying really hard not to be disparaging.
Oh yeah, the drinking age in Australia is younger.
18. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that makes more sense. They're younger and more naive.
Yes, and he was, like, looking at him when he was younger, he was super hot. Like, it wouldn't have mattered if he had have been a bit awkward. The girls would have just needed a couple of drinks in them, and he would have just been like, "Hey babe, how you going?" And they would have been into it.
You look delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm down. Take my panties off.
He had his looks going for him, so that would have worked. You don't need to talk to him when they're that drunk. Like, you just need to look nice.
His parents were also really wealthy, so he had like nice clothes, and he could put himself together.
And he probably bought them drinks as well. Like,
oh, for sure.
You buy drinks and
So he had money, good looks, and he has an Australian accent, which hides the fact that he's on the autism spectrum. Okay, cool.
I wonder.
Fuckhead. Fuck you, Richard.
Holy shit.
Fucking asshole.
I don't know. I can imagine what like an awkward American sounds like. I can't imagine what an awkward Australian sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's just how I talk.
Well, you guys don't have the ability to be monotone.
Oh,
nope.
Was he from Queensland? If he's from Queensland, Queenslanders are real droll. Like, they're real, like...
He might have been from Adelaide. I know that's where his mom lived.
Okay. Adelaide...
He was either... Oh, no. He was born and raised Gold Coast.
Oh, always. Yeah, no, he would have been real droll, talked out of his nose.
Well, I've heard him talking, and he sounded kind of hot, actually.
Okay.
Did anyone suspect anything else?
He said creepy things, but it was in a hot way, so I was okay with it.
Sure.
If you've watched Kath and Kim, that's how he would have talked.
Gable also had developed a severe binge drinking problem in his mid-20s from probably just an excess of money and free time.
Mm-hmm.
In 2011, he was pulled over for driving in the wrong lane, which is the right lane over here, and he clocked
You pay taxes for both sides. Drive in the middle.
And he was pulled over and clocked in at 0.185. In January of 2014, he was arrested by police in the early morning hours. He was allegedly charged with public nuisance, but it ended up being dropped. He claims that during that arrest, 2 officers approached him, pinned him down, and maced him. He told them that he was recording everything on his phone, which he was. And the officer responded, "God, you're a dickhead." Gable asked what he was being arrested for, and the officer said, "For being a dickhead."
I love Aussie police now.
Yeah, I don't think that we could get away with that.
Being a fucking dickhead.
No.
Have a look on YouTube at some of our we've got RBT, so Road Breath Test. It's a TV show down here. It's the best version of our Aussie cops. If you watch that, and there's another one, but if you have a look at a couple of episodes of RBT, our cops are amazing. They're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, dude. For fuck's sake.
So it's not like scripted.
No.
It's like watching Cops, like in America.
Yeah. And they're just, they pull guys over and he's like, "How many beers you had tonight, mate?" And he's like, "Oh, maybe 2 or 3. And the cop's like, "Nah, you've had way more than that, haven't you, mate?" And he's like, oh, maybe 5 then. And he's like, "Stop bullshitting me, dude. Stop bullshitting. I know you've had more than that." And then he does a breath test and it's like, 0.1 something. It's the best. He's like, "See, God. Told you, you're fucking lying. Get in the car."
That's their coverall. Like how we have, what is it called? Nuisance? Public nuisance or whatever. That's like when you don't have anything to arrest them for, but you need something.
Yeah.
That's what they have. Being a dickhead.
Yeah, being a dickhead.
Instead of disturbing the peace.
That's it. Disturbing the peace. Yeah. Thank you.
That's my specialty, y'all.
That's when you don't have a reason to be arrested, but you arrest them anyway.
My voice projects, and then people just assume I'm yelling. I'm like, "I'm not yelling," and then they're like, "Come on, come with us." And I'm like,
probably would have come across better if you hadn't yelled it.
Yeah.
That same year, in July of 2014, he was arrested again after driving 195 clicks per hour on his way back from a music festival and then refusing to pull over. And so at that point, he entered criminal flight, I believe is the term.
Yeah.
He was eventually stopped with road spikes.
Nice.
And he blew a 0.2
that evening. Oh, dude.
Jeez. That's blackout.
Drunk. That's
gray out. Sorry. Ooh. Whatever you call it.
Very drunk.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's insane.
How the fuck do you get that drunk?
Oh,
that's how you kill someone. That's bad.
Yeah,
that's fucking bad.
Is that like butt
or yourself
level right there?
Yeah, mate, that is like intravenous. That is fucking. That's high.
That's like a world
moonshine is how you get drunk. So he was actually out on bail after this arrest when he met Warina. Gable had installed cameras in his apartment and got into the habit of keeping his phone recording during nights out because one morning he woke up and found a used condom and some long hair on his couch, but had no memory of going out or bringing anyone home. And so he wanted to make sure that he had something that he could look back on in case he woke up and didn't remember what happened.
Did he live alone?
Sure.
Ew.
I believe that he was not just filming his sexcapades. No. I'm just making sure I get home okay. Like
that sounds
I don't know
like
about that.
Just scumbag habit of wanting to keep cameras in your apartment to fucking film your hookups like a fucking dirtbag.
That being said, he actually did on hidden cameras once catch one of his dates stealing his wallet.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wasn't the worst thing in the world. Honestly,
that
not a bad idea. If you're bringing a lot of strangers home, if you have valuables, probably not the worst idea in the world to have some hidden cameras.
It just depends what the angle is. If it's like underneath the bed where the fucking D's getting smashed into the V, I don't know if that's okay. But if it's from the corner of the, like when you,
if it's in the living room or like
it wasn't, kitchen. It was in the front entrance.
Okay, that's less creepy.
So he takes him from the couch. He's like, wait, we have to stop here and go to the front entrance real quick to finish this off.
That being said, on this evening, the cameras were not working, or they weren't set up, whatever.
Convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ah,
Jinx,
jinx.
you owe me a Coke.
I said it first.
Ah, whatever.
It was all like sort of stored in a cloud kind of system. So like there was no footage. It wasn't functional. The police checked and triple checked because there was a certain incident that they really wanted video of.
Okay.
So Warina met Gable outside Cavill Mall at 8:45 that evening. They greeted each other on the street with an awkward hug before briefly visiting a nearby pub. After they left, they went to a convenience store and picked up a 6-pack before heading to Gable's apartment at the Avalon Apartments complex to drink and have unfulfilling stranger sex with each other. So they arrived at his apartment at 8:58 p.m., less than 15 minutes after the initial awkward hug.
Wow.
That sounds like a quickie to me, just picking up a 6-pack.
Yeah, they spent 7 hours together, so...
7 hours over a 6-pack?
No, as it turns out.
The 6-pack was for the walk home. I'm sure he was stocked up.
Yeah. So the two of them have sex. They take a bunch of selfies, and Warina actually posts one of the photos of the two of them with the caption, "Met the Australian Sam Winchester, drinking with him. Woot."
Okay. You've piqued my interest in what he looks like now.
A little bit. He kind of looks like him. Maybe if he had longer hair.
Yeah.
But a little bit, yeah. So about 4 hours into the date, Gable decides he's drunk enough that he hits record on his phone. The full recording was just over 3 hours long, and the full recording is available on YouTube, which I will link in the description. I will also link the full transcript. So the two had actually been drinking Gable's homemade moonshine that he made in a still in his kitchen.
Oh, there you go.
That seems cool.
Yeah.
I won't even touch
Great
that
idea.
stuff.
Yeah. Who thought? Yeah. If I walk into somebody's apartment, they're like, "Here, try this homemade alcohol booze that I have." I'm like, "I'm good." That sounds like a roofie.
Yeah. It's literally just like 10 roofies dissolved in a glass of water.
Yeah, it's just like fucking.
He was drinking it too, so it wasn't roofied, but it was definitely dangerous for sure. Warina was typically a beer drinker, and she was not at all used to this kind of alcohol.
And she would have been, she's pretty tiny too, because she
is a little lady. Yeah.
She wouldn't have needed a lot.
Oh, she was petite.
Yeah,
she was quite. Yeah.
She's from the Philippines, so they generally aren't very big people. They're not very big statured, so she was looking at photos of her. She's quite tiny.
Yeah, the two of them standing next to each other, like it's a pretty stark difference. She's a little thing, and he was very in shape and stuff, so he's quite a bit bigger than her. So this is 4 hours into the date. She, at the beginning of the recording, you can hear, is very, very, very drunk already. She's slurring her words. She's in that really annoying, like 18-year-old state of drunk where you're just like, shut up. But the conversation was really light. It was really fun. It was really flirty. He actually asked her if she wanted to come visit him at work tomorrow, which I thought was kind of sweet. The only problem was that you can hear how drunk she is, but he's actually encouraging her to have another drink, and actually went so far as to pour her another drink that she didn't ask for, which is not cool. Don't do that. So about 30 minutes of audio goes by. Things are okay. They're talking, they're laughing. Gable suggests that he could walk her home a couple of times. She doesn't really seem to be listening. He seems to want her to leave. She's not picking up on it. He's not pushing. So suddenly she kind of just explodes. She starts accusing him of stealing her phone and her money. And he doesn't really seem to react too much. He's definitely in no way threatened by her, even though she's yelling at him and threatening to break his jaw.
Oh. Where the fuck did this turn?
Literally out of nowhere.
So in the audio recording.
This was about 30 minutes in. About 30 minutes into the audio recording is when she just literally out of nowhere on a dime starts flipping out about her phone.
I have a friend who does this all the time. We get drunk and we're having a great time. And then one drink later, click, switch, like calling people cunts, saying music sucks at the party.
Is this Bobby?
It is Bobby Allen.
We love you, Bobby. We love you.
No, he's awesome.
I'll cut this out. It's all good.
Yeah.
You don't have to cut it out. Fucking, he knows. He would agree with me right now. He knows for sure this is Drunkle Bobby. That's when I go, is Drunkle Bobby out? And he goes, yes. Then we go back to, I have to bring him home or wherever the fuck we're going. And that's, so I've seen this before. It's not a shock.
I'm not like that. I'm a happy drunk, but I've seen people like that. I'm like, it's fine, guys.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. And they're like, shut the fuck up and lower your voice. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
And I just trot off to do something else. Whatever. I don't get hung up on things when I'm either sober or drunk.
Just
which
disappear into the woods.
Yeah, it's fun. Or just find something to look at. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a magazine or I don't know.
Back in my drinking days, I was the asshole that just shouted shots across the whole bar, acting like I had that fucking bank account.
And then had your shot and just walked away, wait and let someone else pay for him.
Yeah, just walk away.
Yeah,
forget my bar tab. I've done that.
Drink them up, leave them dry. Here's to the man who says he'll buy.
I did lunges and ripped Johnny Bravo pickup lines on strangers and then walked away before they had a chance to respond.
You're amazing.
I did very well with men.
Damn, I gotta come up to Canada and fucking chill with you.
I want to see that so bad.
Me lunging across a bar. My knees aren't what they used to be, man. They hurt when it rains now.
Johnny Bravo. That's so funny.
You guys know what Johnny Bravo is down in Australia?
Yeah, we love him.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
okay.
911. I just saw a handsome man looking at me.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just my reflection.
Yeah.
Never mind.
We love Johnny Bravo.
Baby, your beachfront property, and I'm a love tsunami.
That's way better than you're delicious. I want to get to know.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Fuck is that?
substantially.
Celeste has the pickup line.
Yeah.
Johnny
Yeah.
Bravo style.
Johnny Bravo was a slut, but I don't think you'd say that.
Okay, so he offers to call her phone. He was like, what's your phone number? I'll call you. And she just she won't give him the phone number. She just keeps telling him to fuck off. And he's kind of trying to laugh it off. And then she's getting angrier and being like, it's not fucking funny. It's not fucking funny. I have so much money. And she starts throwing things around, which you can hear in the background. And then she hits him at least twice. Which you can just hear him go, ow, okay. Like, okay, I'll do what you want. Like, it's settle down. And they stop. Then they just stop arguing. It just the switch just goes off. They stop arguing. They're okay. And they both start drinking a little bit more. Gable offers to make her some food, and then asks her if she wants to spend the night. And this is obviously a leading question. He's hoping that she's going to say no. He's just trying to get her to leave. He would really like her to leave, which is fair.
Yeah, I would too. She sounds like a fucking horrible drunk.
Yeah. Awful.
No thanks.
God.
He actually sounds like he was being kind of nice there too. I'll give you some food.
Yeah.
Going over and above what I would have done. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, I was gonna be that sounds like a redeemable quality in this story is him offering
for sure.
her hey, I'll feed you, hey, take a ride home, hey, I'll call you an Uber, and she's just being a fucking one of those girls.
Just wait for it to wind, or wait for him to wind down or lose energy. That's insane.
Yeah.
This is a consistent theme throughout the first hour or so of this recording. Is he was very focused on de-escalation.
For an hour? Oh man, his patience must have just been very stretched.
I would have opened the fucking door and been here's your Uber. I don't give a shit how you get home.
Why he didn't do that, I really have no idea. But
yeah, that's where I'm shocked too. Your shoes are outside, your coat is outside. Now only you need to be outside. Bye. That's what I would have been fucking hucking her shit out. Enough. Relax.
Yeah.
Or you can match that crazy. That's always an option.
Oh fuck! Not as a guy, you can't. You match that crazy against a girl. The girl goes, "That guy was abusing me," and then you're in shit. You're the one in shit. No, you don't match. Maybe girls can match guy crazy. That's a different story. Guy match girl crazy. You are the bad guy at the end.
You're right.
That's true.
You're right. We've all had our moments.
Especially when you're chucking expensive items directly at him. Cheapers.
That sounds like a charge.
Well, she wasn't throwing things at him. She was throwing things around his apartment, and then she hit him like with her hands a couple of times.
Oh, okay. But still, I mean, escalating.
There's no reason for you to be throwing hands.
Yeah.
And obviously this is really reckless behavior because he is fucking huge and you don't know this man. So
yeah, that's true too.
But yeah, no, he's de-escalating. So they start having a conversation about Greek gods, and then she starts being weird again. She's talking about like men in white coats breaking in through the balcony and killing him. And then she wanders off, or then he tries to get her to sit down on the couch and calm down, but she goes into the bathroom. And you can hear in the audio recording, Gable's like muttering to himself. He says, "God help me. Shit." So he's still calm.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And he's like aware of the situation. You can tell he is sick of it, but he's really putting a lot of effort into the way he's treating her.
Yeah.
Plus, he has a lot of practice, right? Bringing people back. He probably has to deal with like a few crazies every once in a while. This probably isn't his first rodeo with a psycho. So he probably already has like, okay, I tried to give her the fucking food. What do I do next? You know, he has a playbook to this.
He also probably knows the culture of like, I really don't want someone saying rape.
She just sounds like the villain. Like,
unfortunately, yeah. But let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So she comes back out of the bathroom. They're sitting on the couch and they're having, once again, a very civilized conversation. He talks to her about his grandpa dying and his mom having to move away. And then kind of out of nowhere, she starts talking about how English guys have bigger dicks, which was rude. But he didn't react negatively. He just kind of was like, yeah, but mine's nice, right? I have a nice dick, right? Tell me I'm a good boy. Like,
I gotta love reassurance.
From a guy's perspective, I unless you're saying your dick is small, guys don't care if you say everybody else's dick is big, you know, usually. Like,
you shouldn't. Yeah, you should not take that statement and turn it inwards and be like, oh, it's totally about me.
Yeah, so it's good that he didn't get mad over that. Who cares?
So yeah, so Gable tries to get her to eat again and she doesn't. But she starts getting flirty and they start like roughhousing, wrestling. You can hear them like shuffling around. They're both laughing. They're being flirty with each other. Things are fine. Warina says something about how like something that he did hurt her vagina, but she's laughing. Like, she's not mad. Gable's laughing. And then she stops and she says, "You sound like a faggot," which is not nice.
What is going on with this story? Like,
yeah,
I was about to say, like, Bobby never ever wants to flirt with me after getting mad. Not once. He just stays a jackass.
She sounds like there's something else going on in her system than just the booze.
It's possible she's having a bad reaction to the moonshine.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Throwing hands and then calling names sounds like she's just an aggressive.
But to me, like, knowing like her backstory and like her interests and all that, it seems like she had like something else going on, like maybe something undiagnosed.
Yeah. And obviously no one's gonna come out against like this girl and say like, yeah, she was like a really nasty drunk. Nobody came out and said this, but I mean, maybe she was always a really nasty drunk. As far as I know, it never came up in the relationship she had with the personal trainer. So yeah, so they stop wrestling and then it's quiet for a minute, and then the next thing you hear is she's playing with decorative rocks that are sitting on the coffee table. And he's like chuckling to himself and he sort of says, she's insane, you know. And then out of nowhere, Rena fucking pelts a rock at him.
Oh my gosh.
And you
now
hear
we're chucking rocks.
Yeah, you hear it make contact and you hear him like,
yeah, rocks don't feel that. Yeah, they've hurt.
Yeah, this wasn't playful. This was.
And how many times do you have to tell children not to throw rocks? I mean, I'm sorry, but don't throw rocks.
This chick is acting like an absolute fucking asshole. So I don't know what happens here, but
bit childlike.
Whatever it is, she might deserve it. I don't know.
We victim blame on this show. It's fine. It's allowed.
Okay.
She's not a victim yet.
Well, yeah. She seems like
so far he's a victim.
Antagonist.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, try not to forget that he is also not a nice guy. He's,
Yes.
you know, he's acting like a nice guy, but he does a lot of really reckless and dangerous shit.
Oh no, he's a jackass too, but at least he's
Yeah.
being nice in this instant.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
everybody's just a jackass
Yeah.
or everybody's just a nice person. Everybody has
Yeah.
both sides to them, right?
Yeah. So here we go. Before we keep going, you know, for the listeners, this is genuinely not playing favorites. I am not at all skewing the audio to make her look worse than him. This is genuinely what happened. You can listen to the whole thing.
Yep.
She was very out of hand. She was violent. She's drunk. She's not making sense most of the time. She's saying things that are very concerning. He's asking her, he's trying to get her to leave politely. She's throwing rocks. And by the way, they found blood on those rocks. She was hitting him very hard with these rocks.
Like she had a slingshot, something.
They weren't real rocks. They were made of like marble or something.
Oh my god.
Either way, it's a
Decorative.
rock.
So
It fucking hurts.
Dense. Yeah.
Yeah, very dense. You could hear them hitting the coffee table. Like those things were fucking heavy.
She's the bionic woman too, I guess.
Yeah, no kidding.
Who the fuck has that arm strength to like pelt a rock at somebody and draw blood?
I don't know, man. Skinny white
I'm
girls
so-
are dangerous when they drink. Yeah, he seems like he really wants her to leave. He's being nice. He did stop offering her drinks after the first outburst about her phone. He did not offer her any more liquor. But he did offer her food twice and offered to walk her home twice, asked her if she wanted to spend the night once. So we'll keep going. So she's throwing the rocks, and he I think is checking Facebook because he asks her who Sam is. And I think this is a reaction to what she'd posted on Facebook about him looking like Sam Winchester.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is him trying to distract her and get her like focused on something else. She actually gets really fucking pissed that he doesn't know who Sam Winchester is, and she just starts sort of screaming Sam Winchester and hucking rocks.
Jesus
I wonder
Christ.
if he's ever heard this. I wonder if what's his name? I can't remember. I know Jensen Ackles, but I wonder if Jared Padalecki's ever heard this lady freaking out. I wonder if he was like, "Oh my god, what is going on?"
He's like,
What
I'm
is
so
he
sorry.
creating?" Yeah.
Oh shit.
Maybe.
Anyways.
This isn't like a super well-known case, so maybe.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of this.
I'll send it to him on Twitter.
Yeah. Check this out, man. It's your fault.
I'll send it to him. 6 degrees separation.
Don't say it's your fault.
It's your fault.
It's
You
your
did
fucking
this.
fault.
I don't even know what happened, so I shouldn't.
No, don't.
I don't either. I did not look into this one.
Okay, here's where things get dicey though. So everybody pay attention. Listeners, I know you're fucking around. We're probably in the background right now. Pay attention. So she's throwing rocks. He then gets up, goes to her, and he restrains her. And so from the testimony, he restrained her, like he pinned her to the ground on the carpet. He's calm, but serious. Very serious tone, and he's definitely drunk. He says, "That's enough. You're not my kind of girl. You have to leave." At this point, she is coherent. She's not freaking out. She says, "Okay, all good." He doesn't let her up at this time, though. He keeps going. He says, "I thought you were a nice girl." And she says, which doesn't make sense to me, she says, "It's not about who you need."
Okay.
Which may have been a reference to an older conversation. I don't know. The articles all leave this out because it's embarrassing, and I don't really want to embarrass her, but I feel like it does provide a little bit of context here. A little while earlier in the conversation, she said that she needed to shit, and as he's holding her on the floor, she says it again, but he doesn't let her up.
Oh.
In fact, what he actually says, which I wasn't actually going to put in here, but I feel like it's important, what he actually says is, "You go ahead and poo. I'll need a DNA sample anyway."
Oh.
Whoa, what?
Which is
Just
weird.
fucking
I
gross.
assume like
What?
I'm gonna press charges kind of thing. Like I want
Oh,
proof that
yeah,
you were
yeah,
here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was weird, but
Don't
it's-
restrain a girl. What are you doing?
yeah.
Take her
Sounds like
shit.
the worst fan fiction I've ever heard.
The only reason I mention it is because I think at that point most people would let her up.
Oh yeah.
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 She's wily though, and I think he's caught on to this. So
Yeah.
what does he say next? Something not nice, I'm sure.
Well, she has flopped her mood, 4 times now?
Yeah.
On and
Many
off?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so he doesn't let her go, as I mentioned. Instead, he says, after this, he says, I thought you were kidding, but I've taken enough. This is fucking bullshit. You're lucky I haven't chucked you off my balcony, you fucking little psycho bitch. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Right.
Okay, that's escalating things.
Yeah, so he seems like more of a dick now.
Yeah, I had a girl hit me once. It's an ex-girlfriend. This is a bad story. I'm gonna tell it anyway. So I lived with this girl. We broke up. I lived in Toronto and we lived in an apartment. We just broke up and I went and had rebound sex with some other girl. Okay.
Go, Richard.
Yeah, she was out hacking my email and she found out, and she was out drinking and she came home hammered, like right hammered. And she right away, she came in, my brother was there and my friend, we were all sitting watching TV. She came in, fuck you. And I got up and I was like, whoa, relax. And she pops me in the face hard, super hard. Bloody. Yeah, I got a bloody nose and I'm bleeding everywhere. I'm wearing a white shirt. I was fucking mad and I wanted to restrain her. I wanted to fucking throw her down over our balcony edge.
Yeah.
But you can't do that to people, you psycho. So what I did instead was I blocked the other nostril that wasn't bleeding and blew blood all over her.
Oh,
so I said, now we're both,
Richard.
yeah, we're both covered in blood, you dumb bitch.
Fuck that. Just throw me off the balcony.
That's
Fuck
gross,
that.
man. I'd punch you in the other
Yeah.
side of the face for that.
Yeah.
No, I know to duck after this because I wasn't expecting to get punched in the face.
Had she been violent before?
No, she was just pissed that I slept.
Oh,
with
well, then
another
good for
girl
her.
within a week. But whatever. But anyway, so my brother and my friend were sitting down, and as soon as I blew the blood, they both started slow clapping, which set her into a furious fucking rage beyond that. She was like in her bedroom fucking
Oh,
5
mate,
seconds
I
after. It was
lost my mind.
I would have been slow clapping too. I did that to a girl once too. That's hilarious.
If you ever want to get me angry, that's the best way to do it. If you ever want to make me cross, that's the best way to do
Get
it.
blood on you? Aren't you a nurse?
Or punch you in the nose.
No, be fucking sarcastic to me. Like make fun of me. If you want to, if you ever want to see me really angry, then make fun of me.
Oh, I would never make fun of you. I would never, ever laugh at you.
You fuckhead.
Not once. You're lucky you're only a screen nerd.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I'm sure you'd do anything if I was here. I'm just joking.
Listen, I'll cross borders, posse on my tail or not.
I'm not a physical. I don't get physical. I just.
It's not cool that she hits you, but I totally understand why she was mad.
She broke up with me.
Yeah, but you still live together. That's not cool. How long before had you broken up?
I'm not going to be a celibate just because some chick broke up with me. It's
how
not
long?
the way it
Yeah,
rolls.
how long, Richard?
I don't know.
24
this honestly
hours.
was like 2000. Okay, no, it wasn't that quick. But and by the way, just to fucking add sweet to the pot, she was fucking some other guy too. That's why she broke up with me. So let's not fucking get on her side that too much.
All right, that's
all context
Calm
that's
down, bro.
important beforehand.
Calm
Maybe
down.
if you were looking at this like with our information, you wouldn't be getting so defensive right now.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
and even without that information, it doesn't really matter. We're in the same house. You're gonna have to live with the decision you made to break up with me. I'm gonna sleep with other girls, whether it's today, tomorrow, in a month and out. You don't come in and punch someone in the head. You're a psycho.
Yeah.
Her punching you in the head, that was a bit excessive. Although you do sound like a petty bitch with bringing other girls home. You sound like a petty bitch. I may not have knocked you in the nose, but I would have fucked your life up. I would have been pissed.
Sure.
Putting green hair dye in a shampoo.
Yeah.
Hey.
No, if she was having sex with other guys, she has no business being mad about it.
Yeah,
That's the end of
exactly.
that.
If she was already sleeping with someone else, then she had no right to be pissed off.
Moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is that how women operate?
No, that is not how women operate at all.
We want our cake and we want to eat it too. We want to have fun and we don't really want to be
This
with
is
you,
incredibly double standard, but I don't care. I can fuck people, but you can't. Yep.
Yeah. That was her mentality, I think.
Yeah.
No, and I gotta be honest, I was 20 years old. Like this is a long ass time ago.
Oh, baby Richard.
You were just being 20. Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, anything in the world could happen as long as violence doesn't result from it, because you can't handle, if you have to end up in violence because you're in a life or death situation, sure.
So was she,
but, you don't have to be violent.
Was she fucking the other guy while you guys were still together?
I don't know all the details.
Oh,
all I know is that she was definitely fucking another guy, because she told me, good, I know, good, I fucked another guy too. Like, okay, cool.
She was probably lying.
Yeah, she might have just been saying that to see if you were going to get a reaction.
This, to get into the whole like long thing of this, guaranteed she was sleeping with the guy before it all came to play over time. At that point, I didn't know, right? But later on, as like, oh, I've been with this guy for 2 months. Yeah, we've been not together for a month, so that doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. Well,
spitting blood on her was like, definitely just throw me over the balcony. Don't ever do that to me.
Yeah, that's fucking disrespectful. I feel like that's more disrespectful than somebody punching you in the face.
Punching somebody in the face is just the way that we, the humans settle their disputes.
Yeah.
Never have I ever in my life thought, fuck that guy, I'm gonna bleed on him.
Well, it was that or punch her. I picked not punching her.
Or you could have just like been like, okay, I understand you're mad. Let's get you to bed, drunkie.
I did spit blood on a girl once because she hit me in the nose, but like she was so much tinier than me. I didn't want to hurt her, but she was like chicken heading me and like jumping up and down, like trying to get me to hit her. Yeah, and I'm like, girl, just ease up.
People like
we
that
are
alone.
just at the park. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, dude, I was like, head back.
I have hit somebody, and he didn't spit blood on me, so.
I didn't spit blood. I snot rocketed blood.
Well, the guy I hit didn't snot rocket blood at me either, and he deserved it.
And noses bleed so heavily, it's insane.
I started this story with, it's a bad story. Anyways, keep going.
All right. You did preface it with it being bad, so.
I assumed you were gonna say you'd hit her back, and honestly, I'd be more okay with it if you had hit her back.
Yeah, I'm honestly gonna agree with that. Like,
hey man, show me the laws.
I'm glad you didn't punch her, Richard.
I'm proud of you, Richard.
It's okay. Like I'm not. I'm thank you for being proud, but I'm not. But I mean, that's what happened. It is what it is.
Shit happens, man.
20-year-old men.
Yeah, shit happens. You were 20. You were pissed off.
All right. So yeah, he says, who the fuck do you think you are? And so for a little while, like a few seconds, you can just hear her like breathing. So they're obviously like physically like right next to each other because it's picking up the sound of her breathing. But she doesn't say anything. And then she finally says, "You're sexist." So again, she's escalating again. And he says, "Yeah, right. I'm the one who's injured. You don't have a scratch on you." He's not wrong. This is true.
She's not wrong about him being a sexist.
Why?
Didn't you say he has a logbook of women he slept with and the dates?
That's not really sexist, is it? I mean, that's not like
chauvinist.
Denying someone else something in favor of a man. Maybe I don't understand what sexism is.
Maybe I just assume that he has those traits as well.
I'm sure he does, but
definitely possible. Okay, so he says this, and then he tells her he's gonna let her go. He's gonna walk her out of the apartment. He tells her, "You are not gonna pick up any of your belongings. I'm gonna walk you to the door, and then I'm going to slam it in your face. Do you understand?" Again, fair. So she doesn't answer him. And he repeats it again. "Do you understand?" She doesn't answer. "Do you understand?" She doesn't answer. He gets off her, tells her to get up. And she says, "Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And then you hear a loud thud. And then he says, "You just don't understand, do you? Did you think I was just going to fall down like in the movies?" And then he tells her to let go repeatedly. And so I read that she had picked up a base piece of a telescope and she had hit him with it.
Oh my God.
And then at this point, all you hear for a little while is her struggling to breathe. And I do mean struggling. She's making very raspy noises. He keeps repeating, "Let go, let go." This happens over the course of like a couple of minutes. It's just her breathing and him saying, "Let go." And then you can hear the item falling to the floor, and then some shuffling, and then the clicking sound of him unlocking his balcony. So immediately after the sound of the balcony door being opened, she starts going, no, fuck, no, 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 over and over and over and over and over. And she's screaming. Like, this is not just like quiet. She's screaming. Everyone can hear this. He says, who do you think you are? Trying to kill me with that? She's screaming. He says, this is all being recorded, you know. And then she says, just let me go home. And he says, I would, but you've been a bad girl. You then hear the sound of the balcony door being closed. And at this point, it is very clear she is on the other side of the glass. You can hear her. She's yelling, just let me go home. But it's on the other side of the glass. He is on the inside of the apartment, and you can hear him. He's breathing heavily. He's walking around. He's trying to calm down. This is about 26 seconds. And then you hear just the faintest scream in the background. And then the clicking of the balcony door. And then Gable's breathing intensifies, like massively. A few seconds later, the phone is ringing out. It goes to voicemail. He says, fuck. And then the rest of the audio is him getting dressed, swearing, panicking, walking around town, making phone calls that go unanswered. He orders and eats a slice of pizza. And then at 3:12 a.m., he makes a call to his father, who picks up, and he tells him what happened. He also tries to call Warina's phone a bunch of times, and then figures out that it's actually in his pocket. Whether or not when she first started accusing him of stealing her phone, it's been in there ever since, I don't know. It's possible he picked it up on his way out. I don't know. And he's trying to call her because he's trying to convince himself that she's going to pick up.
So, like, did she jump off the balcony?
So here's what happened. According to the downstairs neighbors, they heard Warina screaming and ran out onto the balcony to see what was happening. Apparently, this was not the first time a young woman was out on the balcony screaming, but the first one was let back in, and then she left the apartment. When the neighbors got out there, they saw Warina standing on the outside of the railing of his balcony. And they told her, you can't get down this way, go back inside. Instead, she tried to lower her leg down onto the lower neighbor's balcony, but she couldn't reach, and so she pulls herself back up into a standing position. And then pretty much immediately after she slips, she fell 14 stories onto the concrete below, and she was killed instantly.
So, like, this dude, I mean, that's like a double-edged, I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't think he forced her to, like, jump off the balcony, but
He didn't.
Why would you put a drunk woman outside when you're in a fucking high-rise apartment and be like, yeah, she'll be fine?
She's trying to hurt him. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this lady, because it's awful she died, but
it's awful how she died, but both parties, I mean, I don't know, both parties just, they're both shitty people.
They're both drunk too.
Yeah, he's a moron though. He didn't have to say the "you've been a naughty girl" part of it. He could have just let her fucking leave at that point.
He could have put her outside the front door in the hallway.
He could have called the cops.
Yep.
There was one thud.
Yeah.
One thud. She's not going to kill him. She's smaller than him. He's a big dude. She's not going to kill him with one smack.
She's holding a hunk of metal though. So I mean, it's dangerous.
Right,
for sure.
but one thud.
I don't think his purpose was putting her out there for her to fall off, though.
No, of course not. He just wanted to distance her from him. And I think obviously because he was drunk, he wasn't thinking straight. And I mean, he could have put her outside the front door.
And didn't he lock the door behind him so she couldn't get back in from the balcony?
But did you said the neighbors had heard a girl screaming on the balcony before, but he'd let her back in.
Yeah, allegedly another Tinder date of his, same thing. She ended up on the balcony and she was out there screaming.
Oh.
Right.
But then he let her back in and she left. Literally like a timeout to cool down, it sounds like. I think that probably maybe this had worked once before. She did calm down. And this is what he just figured it would happen again. And then she would leave of her own accord.
Right.
See, I don't know. I'm conflicted.
I do have a little bit more information.
Yeah.
It, like, as far as legally, it seems very cut and dry that he is not guilty of murder. You know, she did this of her own accord. In no way did he murder her. But there was actually a case in 1988 where a man was convicted of murder when his girlfriend climbed out of a bathroom window in an attempt to escape a violent argument, and she fell to her death. That being said, the recording proved that for the majority of the evening, Warina was the one who was violent, and that he had encouraged her to leave several times. There was no evidence on her body that she had been choked with force, so whatever was making her breathe that way, he did not intend to cause her bodily harm at any point. It is also not against the law to use reasonable force to remove someone from your property. Putting her out on the balcony is a gray area, just because, if she wants to leave, it's kidnapping, right? But that being said, when she agreed to follow his instructions and leave out the front door the first time, she hit him with the metal rod. And therefore, he had no reason to believe that he could get the further distance to the front door safely versus the balcony. The balcony was only a couple meters away. It was, in the eyes of the law, the more reasonable option for his own safety on his own property when someone else is being violent.
Yeah, that's gray.
It's a gray area for sure.
Yeah.
Think on it. I'll finish up what happened in court and stuff, and then we'll talk about it. So Gable offered up the recording on his phone to the police as proof that he was innocent right away. This was because they put some pressure on him because he did immediately leave the apartment and didn't call for any help. But police actually used the recording in order to arrest him and charge him with manslaughter. He was arrested on August 15th, 2014. The prosecution argued in court that Warina had fallen to her death because Gable made her so afraid for her life that she thought she had no other option than to scale the side of the apartment building. It took the jury 4 days to deliberate, and they came back to the judge twice saying they couldn't reach a unanimous verdict, and he encouraged them to just keep going, keep trying. Eventually they did, and they declared Gable Tostee not guilty.
Good.
After he was acquitted, Gable changed his name to Eric Thomas. He moved back in with his parents, and he got himself back on Tinder. Unsurprisingly, he wasn't having a whole lot of luck. He turned into a bit of an incel after this whole thing, calling his experience victim blaming. He's the victim. And he started referring to women as fembots. He remains very involved in all of the social media activity around the incident. He likes to be involved on the Facebook groups and things like that. He frequently threatens people with legal action. In fact, pretty much anyone who thinks that he's guilty. New Year's 2020, he got himself a Tinder date, but when she realized who he was, she actually called the police to have him removed from her home. And he is currently suing the police officers who arrested him for being a dickhead for $300,000 in damages. And that's his story up to date.
So this woman just knew who he was and didn't want him on.
They met. They spent a little time together. They fell asleep together in bed, and I guess she was on her phone, and she read about who he was, and so she called the police while he was sleeping.
Oh, so didn't even try to ask him to leave or.
Huge overreaction. This was her house. She had no reason to think that she wouldn't be safe there. It was,
yeah.
I can't say for sure that I wouldn't do the same thing, but I don't think I would.
I don't think so. I don't think I would either. I just yo, time to go.
Yeah.
I don't get overnight guests. You know what I'm saying?
Same. There are Ubers outside before I finish.
I love you.
Oh yeah. I don't know what to say about this guy because he had so many outs. He didn't have to stuff her in the closet, I don't think, or out in the balcony. Sorry, I don't think. I think he could have just chucked her out earlier.
Yeah, she seemed like she could have been backpack sized and flipped over his shoulder and carried that way. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah, and who cares if you're getting slacked in the butt? What's that? Yeah, it's not gonna hurt you much. Yeah. You got a lot of fat there.
I think first rock, you're done.
Yeah, first rock, you're going over my shoulder, and I'm gonna just set you outside, not out in the balcony, but outside my front door, so you can happily walk away, not jump away or pretend you can fly or whatever.
I was gonna say this story is confusing. It's just a gray area. I really don't think any of it. There was a lot of violence and all that, but I don't. I think both parties suffered maybe from. The guy was on the autism spectrum. I'm not saying that has anything to do with intelligence or whatever, but they were both very drunk. When you're drunk, you're not thinking clearly. You know what I mean? I don't think his intent was, oh yeah, I'm going to put her out on this balcony. I don't think he thought.
Asperger's means that he really struggles with social cues. And so in this situation, he reasonably would actually have no idea what to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I don't think he thought it ahead. Like, and especially being drunk, didn't. Like, I don't think, like, if somebody was bothering me and my patio door is closer and like I just want to get them away from me, like time out kind of thing, like I'm not going to think too deeply into front door or patio door, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's just it's a weird situation.
And I agree with that. I agree with you, but I just think it should have ended way earlier. That's all. Like,
I don't think either of them knew social cues to like know to end it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He was like too polite. He was asking her instead of telling her. Like, he was making what he wanted sort of clear, but in a way that like he, I think, is trained to believe is the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
Like, where are my manners? I'm not just going to throw this woman out of my house.
I just feel like it was like an isolated incident. I don't really think it was like ill intent on both parts. I think it was just prior, like, existing conditions, alcohol, no social cues, didn't know it was going to happen, accidents happen.
Like,
agreed.
Yeah.
How long were they drinking, and when did they stop, and how long between them stopping and her falling out of the back? And you know what I mean? Like, you start to sober up eventually. No, but it's a real question.
Not in this case. They had been drinking for about 7 hours. Her blood alcohol, I believe, was 1.56. Sorry, 0.156. So she'd taken in a decent amount of alcohol. The incident from when the recording started to when she jumped was 1 hour, and they were drinking partway through that. And so she had been maximum maybe 45-ish minutes without a drink.
I gotcha. Okay.
So, and he was just as drunk, which is a really important factor here.
Yeah, this is just a weird story. Like, I don't think he's guilty of murder, but I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm just saying I don't think she's a good person either. But I think that, like, was it ever said if she was on the spectrum?
No.
Sounds like she was in survival mode for whatever reason.
But
she was erratic. She seemed to be genuinely having some sort of actual bad reaction to the liquor, I assume.
Yeah.
Did she have any mental illness, like eating depression, anything like that? Not on any pills?
No.
Was the moonshine tested for any fucking weird drugs or anything?
It was tested. It was high alcohol content, but there was nothing wrong with it. There was no, like, bacterias in it or anything like that.
I just feel like there's a piece in this story that's missing that nobody's saying, and I want to say, like, that piece is like she had to have had a prior existing, maybe like social thing. Maybe she was on the spectrum. Maybe she had like a mental illness, something like that.
She did. She obviously did have issues. Because there's being a violent drunk, which is predictable. It is a pattern. Pretty much every kind of drunk is predictable. What's unpredictable about her is that she would frequently just drift off into these tirades that were nonsense.
But it was never known if she was medicated.
She was not on any medication. She was not diagnosed with any issues, and nobody described her as being erratic in general.
Yeah, but like you said, they probably kept that to themselves, even if she was, because it wouldn't have helped their case. Like, last week she's always manic, she's always high and then low and then high, and then they'd be like, well, then there's nothing, right? So I'm not saying that that's what it was, but if there was, they probably would not have said anything.
Well, it's kind of like hiding, if someone has a drug problem when they go missing and stuff like that. It's maybe a kind of a veil across victim blaming, which is wrong. Don't victim blame. No one deserves to be locked in a balcony and throwing themselves off of it in a drunken stupor. Like,
this isn't murder or suicide. It's just weird, isolated incident.
And it seems like they come from two different worlds in a way.
Yeah, her parents were working class and stuff. He definitely had more of a sense of his first call was to his lawyer. I mean, how many mid-20 people have lawyers, right? Although, I mean, he was out on bail at the time too, which is another factor here. And I have to be really careful. I'm out on bail. If I call the cops or something if I have to call the cops to get this bitch out, I'm drunk. I'm violating my bail. They're going to put me in prison.
Yeah. So why isn't he, since he violated his own
well, he did serve some time in prison awaiting trial, and he would have served whatever the sentence would have been for that at the time.
Okay.
And it wouldn't have been much. Typically with drunk driving, you spend a very short amount of time in jail and then it's a fine and you can't drive.
Or just a fine. Yeah, you don't even have to go through booking. Yeah.
He was rich, so
that
whatever.
helps.
But the other thing is, okay, he's not guilty of murder. I agree. He's not guilty of murder, cut and dry. Sorry. The other thing though, people wanted him instead to face charges of like kidnapping. What is it? Involuntary.
I don't think he did that either.
Me neither.
He said that she can go. He wanted her to go.
In fact, he offered to walk her home.
And the second she said okay, he lets her up and he gets whacked again. I think you guys are right. The path of least resistance was the balcony for him.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
Poor girl. Fall 13 stories.
The other thing that's interesting about this case, or I think the main thing that's interesting about this case, is what would have went down had the recording not existed.
He'd be in jail for sure.
He would have been. Yeah, guaranteed. I think he would have.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but let's consider she's drunk. Yes, she's out on the balcony. People fall off balconies when they're drunk.
Oh, but then again, the neighbors downstairs, they saw her put herself out and then slip. So he had eyewitnesses to her doing it.
That's
herself.
Circumstantial. In the apartment, They would find rocks with his blood on them. He would be the one that was injured. That's physical evidence that he was defending himself. And so it's complicated there too, as what would have happened if this recording had not existed. Because for every other person probably in that entire fucking city, that recording wouldn't have existed.
I think this is just a real situation where it's just really there's not really any conclusive, definite answer of what really was it, I just think it was two people. You got to consider one was on the spectrum. The other one definitely, I feel like she was suffering from like some sort of issue, or she could have been on the spectrum herself. And then alcohol being involved in that impairs judgment as it is. It's just, that's one of those weird things, man. It's, I don't feel either way towards it. And I don't feel like their prior behaviors say enough for her to like, it's not that she committed suicide. It's not that he committed murder. It was just a weird, very strange scenario.
I feel bad for him actually now. Like
him?
Like he can't even go on dates now without girls like calling the cops on him because a girl fell off his balcony.
Yeah, but he's being an incel about it. He's not reacting well.
But I don't think he knows how to react. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he doesn't know.
This is a traumatic event for him, I imagine.
He also got fat.
Trauma does that.
That being said, he also made $250,000 doing an interview for Australia 60 Minutes. So he's not exactly a poor boy here either.
Money does not buy happiness. Money is not everything.
Well, I disagree.
This guy, like, it only goes so far. Trust me.
Up to $75,000. That's what they say.
Yeah, it only goes so far, and then after that, it's peaked. But this guy's life was based on fucking getting numbers online, and now that's just torn away from him. Like he doesn't have the life that he wants.
That's okay. He can go to the bowling alley still.
He's found a new obsession. It can't be women anymore. So he's now moved on to an obsession of his own story on social media. And that is what he obsesses over now. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad they didn't put him in prison.
No, I don't think he deserves jail time at all for that. I don't think he's guilty of murder whatsoever.
No, not in the slightest.
And he has no de-escalation training or tools to follow. He just did it naturally, which kind of speaks to his character as well.
Yeah, I feel like, you got to look at the amount of time that these people are together. Like, imagine dealing with that for 7 hours. Like, yeah, I'd get to the point too where I'm like, oh my God, just get the fuck away from me and just open the door and put them wherever. And it just happened to be the fucking patio that was 14 stories up. I don't think anybody there is thinking, oh, well, she's going to fall off. I don't think that was even a thought in his head. I think he just like needed a breather because she wasn't listening either way.
Yes. And he had done it before with someone else.
And it worked.
It worked. She calmed down and left.
Yeah.
And again, addressing his lack of social cues. It's something that worked for him once before. Yeah. He has no training in this. He's just kind of going with the flow and really what are you thinking about when you're just going out for a hookup?
Yeah.
Not to be getting rocks chucked at you.
Yeah.
Like, where's my condom is your thought.
Because it does sound like he actually had good tactics. Like he didn't seem like he wanted harm for her.
Unnaturally.
Like, naturally.
Yeah,
like
it's
the de-escalation
yeah.
tactics. I don't think he wanted anything.
I think that's a factor in the Asperger's too. I think that's one of the reasons that he was able to remain so calm.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with him recording. I don't think you guys are thinking about that. Like, he's actively aware that he's recording that room, so he knows he has to be on his best behavior. So I think if that was not on, I think there would have been a lot different reaction from him.
Well, definitely worked in his favor then, didn't it? Because I mean, he didn't realize it was gonna.
I don't think the recording. I don't know, when you're in a situation like that in alcohol, I don't think you're in the moment being like, I'm recording right now, this is going to be a murder case. This, like, I don't think you're doing that.
He didn't turn it off for 2 hours.
Yeah.
After the incident happened. Yeah, I don't think it's something he was exactly acutely aware of.
You said that he told her this is being recorded.
Yeah, I mean, acutely aware of, like, something he had on his mind at all times. I think in those moments of like stress, he remembers to himself, because there was actually a couple of times in their conversations where he was talking about, she was poking at like a scar or something that he had, and he was like, yeah, that's from when the cops roughed me up. It was the same thing with the cops, where in that moment of stress, he's like, you're being recorded right now. You're being recorded right now. And so I think he would have that same sort of stress response that he had with those police officers, and then remember the security that he felt from saying, you're being recorded right now. I'm scared of you, but you can't do anything. And I know it, like, kind of thing.
Trauma response, maybe.
Yeah. And I don't think he was actually, you know what? No, I'm not even going to say that. I don't care how little she was. Everyone is scary. Everyone can be scary. Yeah. And she's unpredictable. She's picking up things to hit him with. God knows what else she could have picked up on the way over. You know?
I was just having this conversation the other day. I was like, there's nothing on this earth scarier than humans.
Yeah.
Nothing.
But I really don't think, like, even all the prior things, like, yeah, like keeping logs of women, like, I don't think he's a bad guy.
Maybe that could have just been like finding his one. You know what I mean? I don't know.
He actually did seem to like her. I will say that. I think that is part of the reason why he didn't like just shoo her out right away. I think that he actually might have liked her, because he did actually initially in the early recording, he was like, do you want to come visit me at work tomorrow? I think he might have just been holding out hope that, like, she'll get less drunk, she'll sober up, we'll have a nice night, she'll be in my bed. I like having someone in my bed.
Like crushing on her.
Yeah, kinda. A little bit. And that's why he put up with so much from her.
I still think you guys aren't grasping the, like, the intensity of being recorded. Like, that changes reality. There's quantum studies done on how shit won't disappear.
It's
when
his
it's being recorded.
He can turn it off and delete it at any time.
And he recorded stuff prior, so he was used to recording things. It was just like second nature to
him. You think he's putting on a show? Richard says he's putting on a show.
I think it's good. I think it's good that he did that. I'm just Celeste asked what would have happened had he not been recording. So that's what I'm thinking about right now. Sorry,
aftermath wise, not in the moment. I think in the moment it would be exactly the same. Yeah. But like, I mean, I don't think he would have felt pressure to behave based on something that he has access to the record of.
I think no matter deleted it. Yeah, I think audio recording or not, whatever was going to happen was going to happen. I don't think the recording really. I mean, yeah, it helped like evidence, but I don't think like him recording anything it was going to change the scenario.
Yeah, it's like, I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for the girl. She was acting like a twat, but I mean, we all do that sometimes. Yeah. And
yeah, nobody deserves to die from acting like a dick.
So sorry to you and sorry to the guy, and hopefully you can find a new thing to get obsessed with. Here's my suggestion. If you're listening to this, because I know you like your media about yourself, Minecraft. You know, it's fun.
Fucking Minecraft.
You know? You can have your own reality.
You can sleep with thousands of women in Sims.
And men.
And aliens, vampires.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Head on over to our Facebook and Instagram to join in on the conversations about all things unethical. Just search Unethical Podcast. You can also find us on Patreon, where you can get access to all of our super awesome content, uncut videos of our discussions, and early release of all the episodes. We are adding fun stuff all the time, so you should definitely come and check it out. Thanks again. We appreciate all of you.
Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Baby, I got your money. Hey, dirty.